Hello, welcome back to the interface. My name's Alex, and today we're going to look at this Tesla Model 3 Long Range. Now, this model was introduced in October 2024 and offers a nice little boost in range basically over the standard range model. I reviewed that car in September 2024, and there's a link in the top right hand corner if you want to check that video out. That video is going to be more detailed in terms of the interior bits and pieces and a lot of the features of the car, but in this video we're going to look at the differences between the standard range and the long range model, as well as talk to its owner, Graeme. So this car is obviously the Model 3 Highland, which was refreshed around this time last year. So lots of cosmetic changes, so slimmer headlights, a lot of interior changes too, which we'll look at in a minute, and the back has changed in its design too. Again, if you want more detail, there's a video in the description down below. Around the back, very typical Highland improvements to the design, slimmer headlights and they're less filled in than they were before. The Tesla brand is now spelled out in letters as opposed to the logo on the old version, and the design has been cleaned up in a lot of different ways. While most modern cars have an electronically opening boot, the Tesla takes it to another level. If you have the key set up on your phone and hold your phone near the car in your pocket and wait for 3 beeps, the boot will open by itself, which is awesome. In the front interior, again, it's typical Model 3 Highland in here. Very nice and simple, clean design. There's not really much happening in here. So we have got the nice simple steering wheel with the indicator buttons there. There's also a new button on this version of the Model 3. We've got a camera button, and some of the functions of this wheel has changed slightly. We've got the nice big soundbar here, which is pretty good. And then the typical Tesla screen. It's around 15 inches, but it has got support for all the usual stuff, such as the fart cushions and YouTube and Netflix and stuff, and Apple Music as well, which is really good to see. We have also got the model of the car, so you can see what's up, so you can see what doors are open, what colour your car is and stuff, and you can change that if you want to. Down in the central section here, we have got 2 wireless phone charging pads, which is really good, and then 2 nice simple cubbies. We've got 2 decent sized cup holders, and then a really deep amount of storage in this bit here with some optional, so this car has got the optional Tesla accessories, which are little trays that you can move in and out if you want to, and they seem pretty good. There is also a tray in here, which again is an optional extra, which sort of adds a bit more practicality to the car. And there is a really decent amount of space in there too for all your phone charging bits and pieces. Pretty good. The seats here are ventilated on the new Model 3, and they're really, really soft actually, electronically adjustable. I will mention that the buttons are a little bit hard to get to. Just your hand bumps into the door pocket here, but it's nice to have electronically adjustable seats in the car. Can get a nice comfortable position. Really nice low driving position as well in the Model 3. You can see a lot out the window, and the windscreen is quite raked, so you have got a nice view out the windscreen. We've also got some pretty good door bins here as well, all carpet lined and pretty nice and luxurious feeling. And then the glove box, again like other Teslas, is openable from the screen. For the back seats, this is very similar to the other Highland Model 3 versions. And we've got really, really good legroom, pretty good headroom despite there being a big sunroof, and despite having a larger battery, this version doesn't impede on any room back here, so the floor is not really any higher. I'm still got a little bit of a gap between my thighs, but it's very comfortable back here. Again, this is the Highland, so we have got this little touchscreen in the back, useful for displaying YouTube videos. You can adjust the climate control in the back here, and then we do have 2 USB-C ports for charging devices. We also have a drop-down armrest with 2 decent-sized cup holders, and that doesn't have a low-through hatch, but the cup holders are a good size. So driving the new Model 3 Long Range, you might be mistaken for thinking that this new one with the bigger battery and a bit more horsepower might feel a bit sort of laborious to drive and a bit heavier to drive. Well, actually, it feels the exact opposite. It feels just as agile and just as capable as the standard range model, which I reviewed last year. So this one has a bit more power than the standard range model, which has 279 brake horsepower, and this one has 315 brake horsepower. That might not sound like loads on paper, but in reality, it actually is quite a bit. So much like any other Teslas, this one is it definitely is quite brisk. So it's not Model 3 performance style, sort of really shoving in the back of your seat fast, but it definitely is quite brisk when you accelerate, which is quite nice. So as I said, we have got a little bit more power than the standard range models. It's going to be quite nice really. So as I mentioned, this one, the Long Range, does have a larger battery than the standard range models. This one is 75 kilowatt hours, and that's quite a big jump over the standard 57 in the standard range version. And also we've gone from LFP to NMC for the chemistry makeup. Now, NMC batteries are renowned for having better winter performance than LFP. Now, to get a real world example of how this car has actually been in the winter, later in the video I'll be talking to this car's owner, Graeme, about what this car's been like in the last 3 months. So overall, the driving experience in the Model 3 long range has been very positive. It's pretty identical to the standard range model in terms of the driving feel, the handling, and then the acceleration is a little bit faster, and obviously we do have that larger battery for much longer trips. So really good. So I'm actually here today with Graeme Cobb, who has kindly lent me this car today to review for the channel, but you also write a few bits and pieces for my website as well.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Alex.
Yeah, pretty good. I just want to get sort of an insight, because this is your car and you've had it for a little while, of sort of the purchasing decisions behind the car and how you found it so far.
I made the critical mistake of test driving one in February last year, and I had a 2021 Model 3 before that, which I loved, but yeah, getting into the Highland, it was a massive step change, and I think I kind of vowed to myself that I needed to buy one, and it took me the best part of a year to get around to doing that. So, but I'm really pleased that I did. I love this car.
Yeah, it's good. And this one is the longer range version, which is quite a recent model really, because I think it came out in October last year.
And that's where my ears pricked up, because it's a long range rear wheel drive. It's the lightest Tesla that they do. The one thing that I noticed about my previous dual motor long range was it had a little bit of heaviness in the kind of cornering with it. It's not the reason why I chose to get rid of it, but I noticed a significant difference getting into this, and I noticed how you don't feel the weight in it anymore. It just feels like a car, and it being the way I see it is this is like the sweet spot of the range really, because you've got the added range, the least amount of weight you can get away with in an electric car with a battery this size, and it's just phenomenal. It is so efficient. So efficient, this car. It drives so nicely, it grips so well, and I'm so happy with it. And yeah, I looked at the dual motor, I looked at the standard range, but I just feel that this long range rear wheel drive is the sweet spot that Tesla offer. So that's why I chose this one.
Yeah, so the battery's quite a bit bigger than the standard range model. How are you finding, because you've had it since December and we're now in February, how are you finding the range on this one?
Phenomenal, really.
Yeah.
Which is usually a word I can't pronounce. But yeah, I mean, I think I put a little post out on X, my experiences on that. But just driving into work last Friday, which is 25 miles straight down the motorway at 60, 70 mile an hour, and it was forecasting at 3 degrees, 330 odd miles of range, which is crazy. Can't wait for the summer to see what it will do. And this is on the 19-inch wheels, not the 18-inch aero wheels.
Yep.
So, you know, if I'd have gone with the aero wheels, it'd just be that slightly bit more as well. But yeah, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. It just gives me the confidence that I can get in this and I can go wherever I need to go without really thinking about it at all.
So this one obviously has a larger battery and it's got a different sort of chemistry makeup to the other ones.
Yeah.
Which should make it a bit better in the winter, which is probably why you're seeing quite good results.
Yeah.
Really, so,
yeah, absolutely. And the odd thing about this, it's the larger pack out of the two, and as you said, it's the NMC chemistry, whereas the standard range is the LFP.
Yep.
But that pack weighs a bit more than that car weighs a bit more than this one. So it's insane when you think about how have Tesla made an electric car with this much range that doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I've only driven the standard range model, and this feels pretty much exactly the same as that model. It's very agile, very grippy, very like go-kart feely.
Yeah.
So it handles really well.
Yeah, and I think I took it out there last weekend or the weekend before. Again, I wrote a little bit on it, a review, my own kind of very biased review on my own car. And I thought I'm going to take it down in the lanes of twisty roads. It just handled so nicely, and it just brought a smile to my face, which kind of not many cars do these days.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about EVs, but not many cars do. But it just brought a smile to my face because it just felt so nice to drive. And I do love driving cars. I do get a lot of enjoyment from it.
How much have you used the Supercharger network in the UK with your cars?
It's usually when we go on holiday, so we tend to go, two times a year, and we only holiday in the UK because we've got dogs. So we've been up to Lake District, we've been down to Devon, we've been across to Wales and across to North Norfolk, and I've had no issues with the Supercharger network wherever we've been. Literally, we don't even plan it. We just drive and think we need to stop, and okay, we'll just pick a Supercharger. I always say to Nikki, just pick a Supercharger you fancy going to, and she'll have a look at the reviews of the service centre and go, oh, we'll go to the next one because that one's better.
That's quite funny. Yeah.
And so we just go to that and we plug in, and then I have to move it before we have anything to eat, because by the time we've got the dogs out and we've gone to the loo, it's charged. So then we go and get something to eat. But I've had no issues with the Supercharger network.
Really good. And so your last car was a Tesla as well.
Yeah.
Do you think when the time comes up, you'd probably get another Tesla, do you think?
It's a promise I make to my wife that I'll keep this one for a long time, and it gets to 3 years and I start getting itchy feet. So I would like to think I'd keep this one, but I'm never going to say never. So it's highly probable I would change it, although my mind at the moment is I don't want to, but it's quite new, so...
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
I'd just be more interested to see, what Tesla does to develop cars, and also interested to see what other cars come to the market as well that might draw my eye to them as well.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
Lots of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for your insight into your Tesla Model 3 long range. It's been quite interesting to see what you have found with it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
So that's been a look at the Tesla Model 3 long range. This definitely offers a good sort of go-between between the performance models and the all-wheel drive models and the standard range model. You get a much larger battery pack for not really that much more money. So it seems like a really good option if you do longer journeys. You also get the benefit of faster DC charging speeds for going from 170 to 250, and you also get that NMC battery pack, which should give you better performance in the winter. So it's definitely one to look at and one to test drive if you're in the market for a Tesla Model 3. Thanks for watching. My name's Alex, and I'll see you again next time.